Hello, I'm Justin M. Kennedy, an attorney with Litherland Kennedy & Associates, a California estate planning and elder care law firm. Today, I'm going to talk about the importance of listing the full year on important documents. With the year 2020, if you abbreviate the year by only listing the last two numbers, then you are writing 20, which then leaves your date subject to fraud. Someone could add two extra numbers after year 20 and make a drastically different date. They could add a 19 to make it look like the document was signed a year prior in 2019, or add a 21 to make it look like the document was signed a year later. This has significant risk for those who are getting married or divorced, those having new children or grandchildren, or those who may be at risk of losing capacity in the near future. Let's look to an example where you create a will in 2020 that states that you are leaving all of your assets to your son, Samuel. In that will, you abbreviate the date to only show the last two digits of the year, 20. In 2021, you have another child, Clara, but you do not update your will. And in 2023, you die. If the will is properly dated to 2020, then Clara would be a post-born child, and the state of California would alter your distribution to provide for Clara under the assumption that this is what you would have done if you had updated your will. This would result in Samuel receiving less. If Samuel wanted to make sure that he received 100% of your estate, he could fraudulently add a 22 to the end of your date to create the year 2022. In 2022, in this example, both you and Clara were alive. So if the will was dated as of 2022, then the state of California would assume that you purposely did not provide for Clara, which would result in drastically different outcome for the distribution of your assets. Let's look at another example. You create a will in 2020, and again you abbreviate the date to 20. In 2025, you lose mental capacity, and in 2027, you pass away. If the will is correctly dated to 2020, then the will would be valid as you had capacity at the time. But if someone fraudulently added a 26 to the end of your year, now that will might not be valid, as it would have been created a year after you lost mental capacity. To avoid these risks and others for the rest of the year 2020, I highly recommend that you use the full four-digit date when you write out the year 2020. This rule should be for all important legal documents, but it can even be for when you write checks or anything else that you use the date. Thank you.